Hello chess lovers, let's have a look at one of the most beautiful games ever played. With the white pieces is playing Mexican Grandmaster Carlos Torre and his opponent is the legendary Emanuel Lasker. The game was played in 1925 in Moscow. Carlos Torre started with d4, knight f6 by Emanuel Lasker, knight f3, e6 and bishop g5. Later this opening will be called after Carlos Torre. This is the Torre attack. c5, e3, c takes d4, e takes d4, bishop e7, knight d2, d6, c3, knight d7, bishop d3, b6, knight c4, bishop b7, queen e2, queen c7. We see castling by both sides, rook e1, rook e8, rook d1, knight f8, bishop c1, opening up this g5 square for the knight, knight d5 and knight g5. White is starting an immediate attack on the king side, b5, knight a3, b4, c takes b4, knight takes b4. Meanwhile Emanuel Lasker is counter-attacking on the queen side, queen h5 and bishop takes g5. Well, g6 is stronger. If queen g4, then knight takes d3, getting rid of this dangerous bishop. But probably Lasker decided not to weaken his king side too much. He played bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, knight takes d3, rook takes d3, queen a5, both attacking the rook on e1 and also pinning this bishop on g5. Now the threat is f6 or h6 and seems like black is winning a piece, but actually Carlos Torre managed to find the best move in this position. He played b4, closing this diagonal and trying to lure away this queen from the fifth rank. Queen f5, rook g3 and h6. Well, f6 is stronger, but probably after knight c4 Emanuel Lasker didn't manage to find rook e7 move. Black needs to have his rook on the 7th rank, both protecting the bishop and also getting rid of this dangerous fork. And if knight takes d6, then queen d5, knight takes b7, rook takes b7, and white is losing a piece. Let's go back, but instead we see h6, knight c4, attacking the pawn on d6, queen d5 protecting the pawn, knight e3, queen b5, and seems like finally Emanuel Lasker is managing to win a piece. But now Carlos Torre went for one of the most beautiful combinations in chess history. Can you find his next moves? Ready? He played bishop f6, sacrificing the queen. He's going for that amazing windmill tactic. Lasker accepted the sacrifice and now comes rook g7 check. And we can see that windmill starts spinning. King h8, rook takes f7 check. King g8, rook g7 check. King h8, rook takes b7 check. King g8, rook g7 check. King h8, rook g5 check. King h7 and rook takes h5. Carlos Torre made use of the windmill tactic, winning 2 pawns and a bishop, and now enters into a winning endgame. King g6, rook h3, king takes f6, rook takes h6, and now white is 3 pawns up, which is of course winning in the endgame. King g5, rook h3, rook b8, rook g3 check, king f6, rook f3 check, king g6, a3, a5, b takes a5, rook takes a5, knight c4, rook d5, rook f4, knight d7, rook takes e6 check, king g5, g3, and finally Emanuel Lasker resigned. What a fantastic windmill tactic by Carlos Torre. Your comments and questions please, and thanks for watching. Good luck.